Okay, so the first type of problem was one of these, and so the coefficient is your little number here, and your variable is the little letter. So how you solve these, 4x equals 16, so you just divide out the 4, and get rid of that, and then you divide this side by 4, and so then 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that's just x. And 16 divided by 4 is 4, so that's your answer. And so I gave you some little practice problems that I actually haven't done yet, so we can do them together. Okay, so this one, you get what's by the x, divide by 8, and divide by 8. So I got a nifty little calculator here. I guess I should have given you time to work that out. You better be pausing it so you can work it out, okay? So this one, what's the first step? You better be watching these. Divide by 12. Are you getting the same answer as me, beautiful? 5. Okay, this one you're going to divide by 11. I gave you a tricky one here. I was trying to trick you a little bit. Okay, well, I hope you got all those right. So numbers are constants, not variables. Obviously, I'll bring this home for you. An algebraic expression does not have an equal sign. So that's like 32x, 4x. Basically, you see none of these have an equal sign? Okay, and then terms are the individual parts that make up an algebraic expression. Constant or a constant times a variable raised to some power and separated by a plus or minus sign. I wrote that down because I felt like it was very important, but I was having a hard time wrapping my brain around it. But basically, it's this. This here is 3 terms. You have your x squared, your x, and then you have the regular value by itself. So that's 3 terms. And then here they're talking about like terms. So that's just things that, see, they both have 1x. And these are like terms because they all have a y. See? Okay, and then here's an example. So they give you this long butt equation, right? So you're just going to match your terms up. You have your x squares, so, you know, you can underline those. I like to write them out separately, but see. So I had my 5, -2. Don't forget your little negative sign. And a plus 1. Anytime you see an x, there's automatically a 1 in front of it if there's not anything else. Heard? And then you add them together. So I had 5, -2, and 1. That gives me 4. And remember, they're x squared. And then for my x values, you got 8 plus 2, 10x. And the lone little value by itself was 9. So 4x squared plus 10x plus 9. That's one page done. I can't believe the TV is not pulled up yet. It's on some BS. Okay, adding and subtracting terms. Hope you can see this good. With like variables, add and subtract the numbers as normal. So see, these both have x squares. So you just do it normal style. That's super duper easy. For multiplying and dividing, they don't have to be like terms. So you multiply the numbers and then you add the exponents of like variables. If that doesn't make sense, I'll explain. So you have 9 times 3 and x squared y times x cubed y cubed. So 9 times 3, those are, multiply your numbers first. 27. And then you have your x squared and your x cubed. So since they're both x's, you don't multiply them together, you add them. I don't know why you do that with exponents, but you always do that. And then, so that's going to give you x to the 5th. And then you have y and y cubed. So you're going to add because it's y to the 1, y to the 3rd, so you add that and get y to the 4th. So your answer should be 27x to the 5th, y to the 4th. Hope you got that, beautiful. Okay, and then here's one for division. You know how we added for multiplication up here with the little variables? Not here. For division, you subtract them. So you can see what I did here. Divide the numbers first. 30 divided by 6, you're going to get 5. And then you have your x's. So 4 minus 1, see, because they're on top. 4 minus 1 going to give you x cubed. 1 minus 1 is going to give you nothing. 2 minus 1 is going to give you 1. So your final answer would be 5x cubed z. And then we have 3 types of expressions. We have a monomial, which has 1 term. So for it, just, you know, no pluses or minuses, just like a plain old whatever. Binomials are going to have a plus or a minus. They have 2 terms. And a polynomial has more than that. Seems fairly simple. Because you know bi means 2. Mono means 1, I think. Poly means many. Remember sister wives? Okay. And then simplifying and evaluating expressions using the FOIL method. I hope this makes sense. I tried to like color code it. Oh, there it goes. So the way you do the FOIL method, it's you take the one from the outside, bring it to this one. You multiply that together, you get 2x squared. And then you take that times the second one, negative 2 times 2x, you get negative 4x. And then you take the inner one, you do the same thing. So that would be 3x. And then here to here would be negative 6. So you put that all together. And these are like terms. So you add them. And you should get 2x squared minus x minus 6. And here's distributing. That's basically doing... My handwriting looks kind of good. But that's basically doing the same thing. You do that times that. And that times that. And that will be your answer. I'm getting through this very quickly. You're welcome. Okay, factoring. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is what they're going to give you, like x squared minus 7x plus 12, and you have to figure out what goes here. So it's basically what we've been doing in reverse. So the number with x squared multiplied by the number with no variable. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, because sometimes it'll be different. I don't think you'll have to worry about on this, though. But basically, this times the 1, I don't think you'll have to worry about that, but just in case. So you're going to want to write out your factors of 12, because that's this number right here. So you have 1 and 12, and then, of course, the inverse, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And then one of these added together are going to give you negative 7. So that's going to be negative 3 and negative 4. Because when you multiply them, you get positive 12. This right here. But when you add them, you get this right here. So that would be your little answer. X minus 3 and x minus 4. And you can check your answer by factoring. Remember how we just did that? This is called, well, we'll get there, hang on. But yeah, so you got that, and once you like boop, boop, do all the stuff, you should get the same thing that you got at the beginning. Okay, so when something says solve a polynomial, it just means solve for x. So if they give you this, x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0, you already know negative 4 and negative 3 are the numbers, so set them to 0 and solve, because that's the same thing we just did, same equation, see? But now it's set equal to 0. So you put these equal to 0 and you solve for them. So plus 4, that cancels out, and then you add 4, negative 3, you add 3, cancel that out, add it to the other side. So your answers are negative, or your x equals 4 and x equals 3. These are the roots. The last example was, oh, you scared me. Look at this beauty queen. My favorite person in the world. I mean, except for you, baby. Anyway, the last example was finding the factors. They are not the same, so be careful. And I drew that smiley face to keep you going. Roots are always equal to 0, and factoring is like the shit with the parentheses and whatnot, you know? The FOIL method is what I taught you a second ago. This might help you remember. okay, so it means, it stands for first, outside, inside, last. I color-coded them for you. So first is the first one and the first one from the set of parentheses, and I wrote them out right here for your viewing pleasure. And then outside is this, wait, shit, what the fuck? Do it to that. Oh yeah, the two outside ones. And then the two inside ones and the last ones. I just feel like that's so dramatic to have to try to remember that. I just go, you know, boop, 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 boop. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Okay, quadratic expressions. Any expression where the highest power of the variable is 2. You can't really see my examples. I love a good yellow pen, but they are hard to see. So the highest power, that's your x squared. So that, the highest one's x squared. So, yep, that's 1. Same here. And same here. So, easy peasy. Factoring quadratic equations and expressions, another example. So you have x squared minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. So remember, you do your factors of negative 32. There they all are. And remember, the inverse is 2. But to get negative 4, we're going to use negative 8 and positive 4. So I say, where's the answer? I wrote it in yellow. Did you get that for your answer? I bet you did, you genius. If you didn't, that's okay. 3 types of quadratic equations. I don't really understand. There were only 2, so I don't know why it said that to me, but that's okay. It says the difference of 2 squares. So I didn't really understand where they were going with this. It says there's no middle term for perfect squares. See, yes, genius. Okay, so you see how that one doesn't have like a just plain x value? And then we have the difference of 2 squares, and then we have perfect squares. So, yeah, I mean, you can see where I worked it out. I don't know if that makes... I feel like if you know how to work them out, you're going to be in the clear. I feel like they're not going to ask you stupid shit that waste your time. But, well, that's the end of page 1. 12 minutes, 23 seconds. You better be watching it and learning. Love you.